My name is Alyssa Stark, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the art of listening. I feel like it is a very lost art, and people have really drifted from the importance of it. Listening is really the basic part of life, and we do not realize that today. We do not acknowledge that today. We have created a very selfish way of listening, and especially in business, we listen for ways to get ahead in ways that that will benefit us, and we listen very selectively to what we want to hear. During my presentation, I'm going to talk about, first of all, the benefits of listening, and then I'm going to touch on all the different aspects of listening, which include stillness and awareness, and presence, and being open, learning and understanding, and then responding to others. First of all, the very basic part of listening is being able to still your mind. This is an active choice, and a lot of times we don't even realize that we are always thinking, especially in society today. It's very hard not to get distracted. We have to continually focus if we want to listen to something. Our minds are always going. There's music always playing, our phones, our technology, radios, just everything. We are a very anti-listening society today, and once we make the choice to listen, then it's so much easier. If we don't consciously make the choice to listen rather than hear, then it's almost impossible that we will take away true meaning from anything that we encounter. And when we do listen, and by this I mean gaining meaning from and gaining not just knowledge, but gaining wisdom of everything we experience and putting understanding behind it. And this does still the chaos within us when we are able to listen, and it invites presence. And by presence, I mean being fully in touch with the moment and not sitting there thinking about past events or worrying about things that are going to happen or that might happen, but about being fully in tune with everything going on around you and fully in tune with the person that you're with. And this does require a lot of focus. Every time our mind wanders, we have to go back to the very basic part of stilling your mind. And to do this, a very easy way is just to focus on your breathing. We don't even notice that we hear our breath constantly, but we never actually listen for it. So if you can just take a moment to listen to it, it really does still your thoughts, and it helps you be able to be present and be there to listen to the speaker. And the second aspect of listening is awareness. Awareness is also another active thing. Until you have practiced it, you have to consciously keep yourself focused and keep yourself aware of everything around you. And awareness it's very similar to attention. It's giving attention to everything, like external and internal. And especially when you're with another person, it's about being aware of their energy and being aware of your own. Like, what energy are you radiating? Are you radiating a positive, open energy? What are they radiating? Do you feel like they really want to talk to you, or are they really uptight, or is their energy loving? It's all about connecting with that and becoming in tune with it. And this awareness, it does require emotional control. And really, it's just being aware of your emotions and not reacting to them, and not shoving them in and holding them inward. Being aware of them is a completely different thing. It's just acknowledging that they're there and then just letting them go and being able to listen. Because when we're not, we get caught up in the reacting part of it. And another easy way of doing this is acknowledging, the love of the divine in all of us. If we can be aware of it, aware that we're all connected, it makes it so much easier to listen. And now, what being able to still your mind and being aware, really what it creates is presence. And presence is just, it's a form of consciousness. We can't ever trick anyone into, thinking that we're present when we're not, or thinking that we're listening when we're not. Because when we're fully present, which means in the now, and being aware and being in tune with the other person you're communicating with, it creates this consciousness, this positive energy that you can't recreate, you can't fake anyway. And a lot of this has to do with, the vibrations. Like, you have to be in touch with your own vibration and what is going on within you. And For example, you can tell when people aren't present and when they're, not in tune with themselves or in tune with things going on around them. And, well, here, for one example, here's a picture of, this is, you can tell this guy's being pretty present. He looks like he's pretty aware of everything around him. He's, making direct eye contact, and, you can tell he's not distracted. But in this picture, you can tell he's not focused, they're not present. And one of the things that has really taken away the presence of society is our creation of time. And we don't even notice. We check the time so often. And especially when you're being present, like, checking the time is a big thing that takes us out of that. Then another thing is our technology, our cell phones. We constantly check them. We have them with us always. And we cannot be fully present if you are checking it. A lot of people try to listen and look at their cell phone at the same time, and, you can't be fully present with it. And another one, if you let your emotions get in the way, it really does take away your presence, because, we're reacting. We're reacting to things rather than being open and actually trying to understand what the speaker is trying to communicate. And the biggest one of not being present is our own mind. And you can tell this guy's off in his own little world there. He's not paying attention to anything around him. He's just lost in thought. And here's another example of being present. They're making eye contact. It's just, they're there. You can feel it. They're just there. Alright, and another thing that's vital to listening is being able to be open. And this entails letting go of all of our perceptions. When we communicate, we've kind of forgotten that, it's not about being right or wrong. And if we can let go of all the things we believe and just try to understand what the speaker is communicating to us, we can actually listen. But when we're up in our heads, a lot of times we listen to confirm if what we think is right or wrong, or just to confirm what we think. And this involves a lot of impartiality. And you have to let go of all your judgments. And this is very hard for us to do today, because judgment and right or wrong morality has been ingrained into us. And to fully understand, which really is the basic of listening, you have to let go of that. And you have to see through your ego. A lot of the times when we're trying to listen to people, when they say something that doesn't agree with what we think, it makes it hard for us to listen. We're already up in our heads being like, oh, well, I don't agree with that. And listening is about seeing through that and letting that go. It also takes an intent to understand, which, to understand, it does require empathy. You have to try to feel what the speaker is feeling, and that is truly being able to listen to them. And you also have to want to learn. Our minds just naturally resist the new. We don't want our perceptions to be shattered. And so you have to want to grow, and you have to want to retain what you're listening to. And all this is just a form of learning, because if you don't want to learn something, you're not going to listen. And really, the only way that you should ever respond in any situation is with kindness. We have really drifted from this, especially in business. People respond just to protect their image. It's not even real. But if we can do all the other things, if you can fully listen, then the true response to anything is always in kindness. It just is. But we let our perceptions, our ego, and everything else just get in the way. And this does take a lot of empathy for suffering, which that is the one thing that we all have in common. We all know what it means to suffer. And we have to think about more meaningful interactions when we respond. We have to actually want the conversation to mean something to us and to retain something from it. And this takes loving and mindful speech. Because if we want to respond in kindness, we have to be aware of the kind of speech we're using, and we have to be aware of how the speaker will take it. And we want to respond like how we want to be responded to. And this also means with light. We just have to remember the divine and the connectedness of all of us. That is really the basics of listening. And if we can listen, we will benefit from it greatly. And one of those is increased awareness. At first it's hard to be aware, but as we practice it, it just increases and increases. And this also results in inner growth, because once we're aware of things, we do grow inside, and when we listen, we retain more things and we grow. And it's a soulful growth. Rather than just gaining knowledge, we gain wisdom. And one of the most obvious benefits of listening is effective communication with others. We really can't go through life without communicating with others, and if we can learn to listen, it will make this so much smoother, and we'll be able to understand them and actually connect with them, rather than just talk to them. And one of the most beautiful benefits of listening is it is the road to enlightenment. When we can listen and fully listen, if we make that our goal and really work on our listening skills, it will lead to enlightenment. It will. And I hope that you could let go of your perceptions enough to take in something that I said. And I just want to reiterate again just the importance of listening, and how we need to listen just selflessly and listen to what other people want to communicate, and we need to just let go of our own ego. And this will not only benefit the other person because we would be able to understand them, but it will in turn benefit us, and it will help us all become more connected and to grow.